I think there's amazing resilience in both African-American community as well as the sub-Saharan African communities I've had the privilege of working in. Women in those settings, they have a different perspective or a different way of engaging. I learn a lot from them. The HIV prevention strategy that the Bush administration supports is ABC. It's become clear to me that ABC is failing both women in the South Bronx and women in Ethiopia.
When were you diagnosed? I was diagnosed in 2000.
Of all new HIV infections right now, 68% are African-American women. That's alarming, given in the general population, we're only, what, 6 to 7%? So I'm embarking on this research project because I want to take a closer look at HIV-positive women's histories and examine exactly what's making them at risk. But more importantly, I want to know how to do something about it. I have some questions, actually, I wanted to ask you. HIV being a sexually transmitted disease. The issue is looking at basically the level of control you have in your relationship. So the first one is your partner, as in Stephen, has more control than you do in important decisions that affect your relationship.
No.
Okay. Disagree. Second question. It's when you and Stephen have an argument, Stephen gets his way most of the time, yes or no?
No.
No. Okay. Now, third question is, okay, Stephen has more control than you do over whether or not you use condoms. Does Stephen have more control?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You could have probably predicted some of those answers. Inconsistent condom use goes hand in hand with how much control you have in a relationship, you know?
Control is really a thing for me. I'm still learning how to get control back.
So what I'm really trying to do is draw the parallels between what my patients' lives are and then what my life is, actually. Because as I look at my peer group and a lot of the decisions we've made in our own personal lives, they're actually not that different. I want women to bond around these issues, you know? There's power that happens when people come together and talk about those experiences, you know? When you stay silent, I think it's fodder for injustice to grow. Okay, that said, let's start. When have you not used condoms and why?
With the person I'm married to now and a serious relationship I had before that, I stopped using condoms actually pretty quickly in both relationships, probably too quickly. I did have some complaints from some guys that I've been with that they don't enjoy it as much, or they like can't lose their erection, and then they're, you know, whatever, like the sex is not as natural.
The next question, have you ever had sex when you didn't want to and why?
My last boyfriend and I just had a lot of sexual tension, which is very bad. He used sex as kind of as a, like, he wanted a lot of sex. And I felt like it was my girlfriendly duty, you know, to do that. And then there's also some deeper, I know, infidelity issues, which made it even more compounded because, you know, when you think about, like, okay, he wants to have sex. If you're not going to have sex with him, then, you know, he'll go out and have sex at other places. Yeah, it's just horrible.
All right, she's open for some questions.
I'm always open for questions.
Okay.
I'll ask you questions.
Okay, Mehret.
Please, I got nothing to hide.
I've been hurt a lot. Past boyfriends. Falling in love, thinking I was in love, but wasn't in love. Did that ever happen to you?
This guy hurt me. This last guy that I loved, definitely, no question. Because I was giving a lot to him blindly and assuming that he would do the same for me at some point. And in the process, I think I forgot myself a little bit. I was having, sex with him, but I wasn't always safe. This is the poorest community in Awassa. You see all these kids, half of them have fathers, half of them don't. And actually, most of the people living here are women, and people come to drink here, and then afterwards, people sell themselves and sex work gets done. HIV ያላቸው ሰዎች አሉ ወይስ?
ያላቸው አሉ 60%.
It's about having these discussions together and professionals getting involved as well as families getting involved. And that's why Chevelle and I have really decided to take this idea of the truth circles out into the community and start having these talks. I mean, the focus has got to be the babies, the young ones, because they're really on the front lines right now. Sex ed programs in New York or in Brooklyn, like, do you have one here?
There is no formal sexual education program, and it kind of goes back to that sort of ABC mentality. You know, the schools went from a time when it was very pro-sex ed reproduction to now where they just want to avoid it altogether.
Where do you think the girls are going for that kind of information?
To each other, media.
Media and pop culture is saturated with images of Black women and that are so exploitive and so destructive. Who's standing for Black girls right now? Nobody. Who's protecting them? Nobody. And if we don't stand, then who the hell else will? Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Okay, Reverend Martin Luther King. So that said, we're going to be talking about HIV today. For this age group, what I want you to remember, the most common way that ladies like you or myself can get it is through sex with a boy. In the U.S., among ages 13 to 19, all the new diagnoses of HIV are among African Americans. And this is the U.S. population. What percentage are African Americans in the U.S. population? Anyone want to take a guess?
12.
12% means...
I'm moving out.
Right? So if everything was equal, then we should make up only 12% of those cases. But instead...
That's like all of us having HIV.
It's a problem. All right, ladies? You know, we're dying, and no one's really talking about it.